Throughout human history, the sea has been both a provider and a destroyer. It carries our dreams, our goods, and our people. But it also holds a tragic history of loss. The sea's dual nature is evident in its beauty and its fury, a force that has both nurtured and devastated civilizations. From ancient times to modern days, countless lives have been claimed by its depths. Today, we delve into the worst ship accident in marine history, a disaster so catastrophic that it left an indelible mark on the world. This is the story of the Wilhelm Gustloff, the deadliest maritime disaster ever recorded. Before we dive into the tragedy, let's set the stage. It's January 1945, the final months of World War II. Nazi Germany is on the brink of collapse. The Soviet army is advancing westward, creating chaos as millions of refugees, soldiers, civilians, and wounded personnel flee from Eastern Europe. Europe is in turmoil, with cities in ruins and people desperate to escape the advancing front. In this desperate exodus, the Wilhelm Gustloff became a symbol of hope for survival. Little did its passengers know they were sailing toward catastrophe. The Wilhelm Gustloff wasn't always a ship of despair. Launched in 1937, it was originally a luxury ocean liner for the Nazi Party's Strength Through Joy program, designed to offer vacations to German workers. Named after a Nazi leader, it symbolized prestige and power. The ship could accommodate over 1,800 passengers and had state-of-the-art facilities, including luxurious dining rooms, swimming pools, and theaters. But as the war escalated, the ship's purpose changed dramatically. By 1940, it was repurposed as a hospital ship, and later a barracks for U-boat trainees, stripping away its former luxury. By 1945, it was a lifeline for thousands fleeing the advancing Soviet forces, a stark contrast to its opulent beginnings. In January 1945, Germany launched Operation Hannibal, one of the largest naval evacuations in history. Over 1,000 ships were tasked with evacuating civilians and soldiers from East Prussia, Pomerania, and other regions cut off by the Soviet advance. The Wilhelm Gustloff was one of these ships. On January 30, 1945, the ship departed from the port of Gotenhafen, modern-day Gdynia, Poland. It was severely overloaded, carrying over 10,000 people, 5 times its capacity. Among them were women, children, wounded soldiers, and Nazi officials. The logistics of Operation Hannibal were immense, involving coordination of naval fleets, supply chains, and safe passage through dangerous waters. The Wilhelm Gustloff set sail under dire conditions, with the Baltic Sea filled with ice. The ship was inadequately escorted, and the crew faced harsh weather and freezing temperatures. Despite warnings of Soviet submarines in the area, the crew made critical errors. They turned on navigation lights, making the ship an easy target in the dark, frigid night. At 9 p.m., disaster struck. A Soviet submarine, S-13, commanded by Alexander Marinesko, fired 3 torpedoes. All 3 hit their target, causing catastrophic damage. Panic ensued as the crew and passengers scrambled to evacuate the sinking ship. The Wilhelm Gustloff sank in less than an hour. Chaos erupted as passengers scrambled for lifeboats. Many were trapped below deck, while others froze in the icy waters of the Baltic Sea. Out of over 10,000 passengers, only around 1,200 survived. The death toll, estimated at over 9,000, makes it the deadliest maritime disaster in history, surpassing even the Titanic and the Lusitania. Survivors recounted the chaos and terror. One survivor, a young mother, described clutching her infant as they were thrown into the freezing sea. Rescue operations continued through the night, but the freezing temperatures claimed many lives before help could arrive. Today, memorials stand in honor of the victims, ensuring that the tragedy of the Wilhelm Gustloff is never forgotten. Unlike other maritime disasters, the sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff remained relatively obscure. Why? Several factors contributed to this. First, it happened during a time of global chaos. World War II overshadowed individual tragedies. Second, the victims were mostly Germans, and post-war narratives often focused on their roles as aggressors rather than victims. Lastly, Cold War politics kept the story in the shadows, as neither side wanted to highlight a tragedy tied to the other. The tragedy was further buried under the immense task of rebuilding Europe, where the focus was on moving forward rather than looking back. Additionally, the sheer scale of displacement and suffering during and after the war made it difficult for individual stories to stand out. Over time, the sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff became a footnote in history, overshadowed by the broader narrative of the war and its aftermath. The sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff serves as a grim reminder of the human cost of war and the vulnerabilities of sea travel. It highlighted the importance of safety protocols, adequate evacuation planning, and the dangers of overloading ships. Today, memorials and books keep the memory of this tragedy alive, ensuring that the lessons of the past are not forgotten. The disaster also influenced modern maritime safety regulations, leading to stricter guidelines on ship capacity, improved life-saving equipment, and mandatory safety drills. These measures have significantly reduced the risk of similar tragedies, making sea travel safer for everyone. The story of the Wilhelm Gustloff is more than a maritime disaster. It's a tale of desperation, war, and loss. The ship carried thousands of refugees seeking safety, only to meet a tragic end. As we remember the lives lost that night, let us also reflect on the resilience of the human spirit. The courage and hope that emerged from such darkness are a testament to humanity's strength. If you found this story compelling, like and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's untold stories. Thank you for watching. Let's honor the past by learning and growing from it. Gap 2S. The Wilhelm Gustloff was not just a ship, but a vessel of countless personal stories. Stories of families torn apart by war, clinging to hope amidst chaos. Anna, a young mother, boarded with her children, seeking a new beginning. Carl, a teenager, boarded with his sister, promising to keep her safe. For many, the ship was a chance for respite from war. As we remember the Wilhelm Gustloff, let us honor these voices from the past. Gap 2S. Thank you for watching. The sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff was a significant geopolitical event during World War II. The ship carried thousands of German civilians, military personnel, and refugees fleeing the Soviet Red Army. Over 9,000 people perished in the icy waters of the Baltic Sea. This event highlighted the desperate measures taken by those caught in the crossfire. The tragedy underscored the brutal reality of total war. It exposed the vulnerabilities of maritime evacuations. The sinking became a symbol of the broader human cost of the war. It was used in propaganda to highlight atrocities, entrenching the Cold War divide. The disaster prompted discussions on the ethics of targeting civilian vessels. Changes in international maritime law aimed to protect non-combatants. Today, the sinking serves as a grim reminder of war's far-reaching consequences. It calls for a renewed commitment to peace and human rights. Thank you for watching. Let's honor the past by learning from it. Decades after the tragic sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff, the shipwreck was discovered lying on the seabed of the Baltic Sea. Modern sonar technology finally uncovered the resting place of this ill-fated vessel. The discovery was a significant milestone for historians and maritime archaeologists. The underwater exploration revealed a haunting underwater graveyard. The ship, broken into several large sections, was a silent witness to the horrors experienced by those aboard. Divers and ROVs captured eerie footage of the wreck, showing personal belongings and remnants of the ship's interiors. The exploration also brought to light the incredible stories of survival and loss. Personal artifacts such as clothing, shoes, and even children's toys served as poignant reminders of the thousands of lives abruptly ended on that fateful night. Despite the passage of time, the site remains a protected war grave, respected by divers and researchers alike. The wreck of the Wilhelm Gustloff is not just a subject of historical interest but also a solemn memorial to the lives lost. Thank you for watching.